Today we've got reviews of the creepy film spin-off game Addams Family Values on the SNES and the ghoulishly titled Corpse Killer on the Mega CD. And don't forget, the only thing to be afraid of is fear itself. Is that it? Good, it's gone. But first, our main review game is a spooky PC CD ROM adventure, Alone in the Dark 3. Ah! The third in the acclaimed Alone in the Dark series takes quite a radical departure from the first two games. 1 and 2 were set inside spooky old mansions. Alone in the Dark 3, however, drops our top sleuth right in the middle of a tumbleweed-infested cowboy ghost town. Ooh. As Edward Carnby, you've been hired to investigate the disappearance of Emily Hartwood in the ghost town Slaughter Gulch. It doesn't take long for you to discover there are sinister goings-on and there are more ghosts around than sand dunes in the desert. Using all your wits and making the most of the hundreds of objects scattered throughout the town, you'll have to solve puzzles, fist-fight monsters, trick your way past demons, and take on the meanest, craftiest, and deadest gunfighters in town, Wild West style. Now, Steve, the original Alone in the Dark broke the mould for adventure games. Do you really think they can keep up this momentum with the third one? Have they done it?
Well, with this scary offering, you're certainly trying. Every Alone in the Dark game's been different, but they've all got one thing in common. They're harder than a concrete candy bar. This is easily the best Alone adventure, and everywhere you go, you'll be amazed by the graphics.
There's a lot of emphasis placed on the objects you have to pick up and use in the game, isn't there?
Yeah, fortunate enough, Ed's got a huge pair of trousers and he can carry up to 50 objects. Now, these can be anything. You can pick up pickaxes, you can even pick up, like, bathtubs, and 50 of them as well. The only problem is that just about everything you find is vital, and there's nothing more annoying than getting to a location after hours of puzzle solving, only to find that you can only carry one more object.
In the fights, you don't necessarily have to confront your enemies, do you? Sometimes you can slip away or slip round the back and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes you can trick your way past demons. There's one point where you come across a huge snake, and if you're lucky enough to have the maracas, you can shake them, rattle them, and get past the snake without getting hurt.
Top clue, if you're playing Alone in the Dark 3, use the maracas at the snake.
You heard it here first.
OK, what's the conclusion?
It's a real quality adventure. There's sample speech there, different camera angles, amazing graphic effects, and great puzzle solving.
So the final score?
My score's a bad level 9.
OK, now it's time for the roundup of this week's games news. Now, last year saw the launch of the Super Game Boy, which allows you to play Game Boy games on your SNES. Now meet the Tri-Star, which allows you to play NES games on your SNES. You simply slot in the NES game at the back, the SNES game at the front, and then on the screen you get a choice of 8 or 16-bit game to play. So I'm going to choose the 8-bit game here. There you go, the original Super Mario Bros. Kart. I tell you what, it's really weird playing this game with a SNES controller. Brings back a few memories. Ooh, you can tell I haven't played it for a while, can't you? Unfortunately, the Tri-Star is only officially available via mail order, and if you do experience any problems with it, it's not the Nintendo licensed product, so it won't be officially covered by the Nintendo guarantee.
This is Sega's brand new 32-bit Super Console, the Saturn. Now, it's only available in Japan at the moment, but if you've had your ear to the ground, you might have heard that Sega are planning to release it in the summer to beat the PlayStation into the shops. However, we can tell you that that is not the case. Sega's most likely launch date is still September, along with a whole host of new software. Now, they're going along with Sony's idea that it's the quality of the software and the number of software titles released that will sell the new machine, and not just the hardware.
Now, don't forget, if you want any more information about anything in the programme, you can write to us at Bath Level 10 at the Television Centre, Leeds LS3 1JS. Or if you've got a modem, you can email us on 1003 02.1207 at compuserve.com. OK, moving on now to our second game review. Last year saw the release of Pugsy's Scavenger Hunt, starring the spotty son of the Addams family. Now it's time for another spin-off from the spoof horror clan, this time featuring Uncle Fester. As you would expect from a spin-off of a comic horror film, this game doesn't really set out to spook you. It's all just good fun, as Uncle Fester waddles around the house and grounds, fighting everything from ghouls and ghosts to the biting vegetables that block your path in the greenhouse. You work your way through the different places, starting in the grounds and heading straight for the dungeon. On the way, he has to help various characters and pick up clues. There are health bonuses dotted about and a number of useful, indeed essential, objects you have to find to progress through the game. So, is it a substantial body or merely a phantom? Now, Steve, I have to say that although the first two Addams Family games were brilliant, excellent platformers, I was relieved that this one wasn't one as well.
Yeah, for this third one, they've decided to turn it into an RPG. And they've really captured the feel of the Addams Family with odd plants and talking objects.
The graphics are neat, but they're a bit basic, aren't they?
Yeah, all the rooms tend to look the same, and most of the levels are the same. There's a really annoying part where every time you meet a character from the family, you have to wade through these reams of text.
I have to say that I found, as far as the gameplay was concerned, that control of Fester, he was just a blob, and he just kind of blobbed around.
He's really boring as well. He makes Steve Davis look like an interesting date. He's only got one weapon as well.
Yeah, and he can't dodge out of the way of enemies and all that kind of stuff. He has to turn to fire. He's got no directional fire.
He's slow-moving too, but what can you expect from a guy with stumpy legs?
So, final score?
Have to give it a bad level 4.
And now for our final game review. It's the gruesomely titled Corpse Killer. It's brought to us by Digital Pictures, the same company who made the overhyped, but in the end relatively tame game, Night Trap. So, will this latest extravaganza have us hiding behind our sofas?
Giant Lieutenant.
You take on the role of a crack military intelligence operative. He's been parachuted onto a remote Caribbean voodoo island to investigate gruesome rumours of walking dead. The island is populated by hundreds of zombies, a mad professor and a handful of commandos. What's more, you're infected with the zombie poison, and with the help of Winston, a crazy Rastafarian islander, and Julie, the foxy press hound, you've got to find a cure and kill as many of the zombie antagonists as you can before they zombify you. Now, Steve, this reminds me of another Digital Pictures game that also used video footage, Ground Zero Texas.
Yeah, it's basically exactly the same idea. You've got film sequences which intercut in between the gameplay, and you just have to shoot everything that pops out of the ground at you. The only gruesome factor about this game is the asking price. and the only shocking thing about it is the cinematic bits in between the actual gameplay. Most of the zombies are laughable, and they look like they could have worked on the game and they've just been made up on their day off.
So what do we give it?
A bad level 5.
It's time again for the Bad Little 10 Challenge. As you may recall, Steve and I were absolutely brilliant and won every time at Virtua Fighter. But as soon as we started playing Daytona USA, we started losing. We've lost twice already. And now we've got another top games journalist who's come to challenge us, Nick Veitch from Amiga format. Welcome, Nick. Are you going to beat us as well?
I should think it's highly likely, yeah.
OK, he tells it straight. Steve, what are the rules?
What confidence for you. Now, Nick writes for Amiga Format magazine, and if he wins, he'll get 10 seconds on camera to tell us all the great things about the magazine. But if he loses, his magazine goes in the loser's bin.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
This race is vital for Steve to regain some lost pride because he hasn't won at Daytona so far on Bad Level 10. He's desperately looking for a way to overtake. Come on, Steve! Is he going to do it? Yes! Steve's in the lead, crashing into a wall immediately afterwards and loses it again. Again, Steve is just on his tail, but Nick, unfortunately, hasn't made his place, but no! Here's Steve! Steve in the lead, so you can see it! Oh, they're neck and neck! No! Nick has regained pole position. No, Steve is trying to get past. Oh, and Nick has flipped out! Steve has flipped out! 1 second to go! Is he going to make it?
I was robbed. I mean, it's quite clear that I deserve to win that match.
Yeah, he was behind all the time. I have to say, bad luck. Unfortunately, that does mean that your magazine, Amiga format, round here, Matthew, it has to go. Oh, this is sad. In the bin.
Don't do it.
Well, that's it for now, but don't forget to watch next time when we're having a bit of a music theme and looking at something very special called the virtual guitar. And Aerosmith are involved somehow. Don't miss that. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.